Hear that? Panel is starting to sing. You pick up a piece of sheet metal that hasn't been wheeled, it has a dead sound to it. Hey guys, welcome back to iNVision Prototypes. I'm Nick. You caught me again wheeling up another panel for the afterburner build. This is the rear top quarter piece, and I'm just giving it a bit of an accent, a bit of a shoulder, a bit of a flare by the shoulder. So essentially I'm stretching the panel in this area. Moving quite a bit of material. So the door opening is over here. There's a little flare in this area, and then it tapers back, a nice gradual curve. Now this area down here is the you don't want to wheel this area zone, because, well, I'll take you over to the car and I'll show you why. But let me give this a little more stretch. You need to come up about 1/2 inch. Now I have to fade this off gradually as we move backward, and I'm going to hit the throat in a second. So just reduce the pressure a little bit and wash it out. I might flip the panel end for end just to fade it in a little better. It's not bad, there's no step there, but just want it to gradually fade out. The reflections will tell us everything. Okay, here we go. Fading out that wheeling zone as we're moving back. You can see on my left there, it's a lot more shiny than this area here because we've wheeled that a lot more. Okay, that's good. So you can see that we have a nice curve happening here, and we have a flat area here. We'll go to the car and I'll explain what's going on. I just need a nice flat surface. So that's why we're not wheeling that area at all. A little bit, just, smoothing things out, but not wheeling any shape into it. And then what they're going to take in the panel, we return in underneath for the wheel well. This is the main concern. We need to get this shape right. And it's going to go in and then mate up with the rear deck. So we have to create this. This is about the most complicated area here. So let's get the panel, see how it looks. I could maybe get a clamp on it, but it seems to be sitting quite nicely just by, one hand there. It rocks a little bit at the back. I'm going to close the panel. As we've been wheeling the panel, I open him. And once I get the desired, or close to the desired shape, I go ahead and close it up a bit. Okay, oh, that's much better. There we go. So I can get a clamp on this. No clamps. Found a clamp. You want to clamp this in the exact same position every single time. There, so that's coming in really well. This top edge, a little bit wavy. We can take care of that. Put it in the kick shrinker and just tighten it up a little bit. And as you can see, this you don't want to wheel this zone is vertical, nice and flat. And that's what we're after. Let's shrink this, the top edge, and wheel this just a bit more. Bring that curve up. Now you notice I'm not wheeling the panel lengthways to allow this to come up. I'm actually wheeling it horizontally, stretching this up, bringing this up, and that's allowing that area to come down. Okay, give a few passes in the kick shrinker, and you can see the top is smoothed right out, right there. So let's go back to the wheel, stretch this up, and then fade it in and try it again. If you're one that gets bored easily, English wheeling is not for you. It's quite a tedious process. Power hammer might be more up your alley, but again, that's a whole different animal. And you really have to know what you're doing with that, because, well, you can make a lot of scrap otherwise. Okay, let me go back. It may not look like I'm doing much, but I can see this panel is growing just from these few passes. I've got an English wheeling basics video. If you click that card up there, and it'll show you, or I will show you, a lot of what goes into creating a motorcycle fender. Now I've got the pressure up, kind of medium high. And we'll have to make a passenger side one as well. So we can start on that one as soon as we get this one more or less sitting where it needs to. However, since we don't have the buck on the passenger side, we're gonna have to create templates, profiles off of this one, make sure we're wheeling up a panel that's comparable. I hit the throat, I wasn't paying attention. So let's wash this out, and by washing I just mean light pressure. Just kind of smooth out anything that might be there. A few little waves. And again, I am staying away from the you don't want to wheel this zone. Now you might notice a couple waves in it, but that is because of this bottom edge. It's we're gonna have to stretch it a little bit more, which will create more waves, but that actually rolls in underneath to pick up the wheel well. So all that'll take care of itself as you move forward, as we move forward. I have your support from the couch over there, and well, it's something that we will accomplish, right? I'll get this panel in end for end. And wash it from the other direction, and we'll go try it. Again, light pressure, just washing, just smooth passes. The wheels or anvils are hardly making contact. You can almost slip the panel through. Just like that. We've been wheeling for quite a while, so the fingers, the digits get a little bit tired. You can hear that? I got my rubber gloves on, but the panel is starting to sing very well. It has a very nice ring to it. You pick up a piece of sheet metal that hasn't been wheeled, it has a dead sound to it. This has a nice ring to it. So, all right, let's get this up on the car once more. This shoulder line is coming in nicely. I don't want it too big. I just want a subtle rise in this area. Okay, check out those reflections. Coming in really nice. A little bit of something going on in this area. I have to wash that out, not a problem. But you can see how they're growing up into here. And then this area will actually create a feature through there by tracing the buck from the backside to make it a definite line that comes back. So we do have a bit of a space down below here, but it's touching, I don't know if you guys can see that, touching the rod there and touching all the way along towards the front. There's a little bit of a space there, not a problem. It's up a 1/16 of an inch or so, and we're touching back here where we need to. So that's a good thing. Let's sight down from the end. See the nice curve coming from back here all the way to the front. Looking really good. We have a few tracking marks. Like I said, it has to be touched up. But I'm focused on getting the main shape into the panel. That's what's important at this point. Reflections, it's important to try to minimize wheeling marks as you go along, but you do get them from time to time. So don't stress out over them. They can be washed out. Like reflections are coming in quite nice. We have a flat spot from there to there. You can see that. And we have a bit of a flat spot there, but go back to the wheel, touch it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the passenger side quarter piece. I've cut it out and prepared it. Start wheeling it up. Once we get the general shape kind of looking like this one here, and our arms are nice and tired, we'll take this one, put it back in the wheel, wash it out, create some profiles, some templates, and overlay it over the passenger side and make sure that we're identical from side to side. And well, as you can see, right now, there's not much over here. So we have to actually build up to it. Well, the door side's been completed. We'll build up the wheel well, get that wrapped up, and then we can go ahead and attach the quarter panel to that. And we'll make sure that all the datum points line up from side to side. I mentioned last time, this chrome area, it's going to be covered. It's going to be a quarter or an upper area that's going to come around and roll in underneath. So I'm going to grab the passenger side piece, start wheeling it up, and try to get some shape into it. And you know what? I got a shave. Wow. The nicer your anvils are, and the cleaner your anvils are, the more polished your anvils are, the nicer your panel is going to come out. If your anvils have flash rust on them, if you've rolled welds with them and they have pitting, that's all going to transpose onto your piece that you're creating. If this was aluminum, this is steel and this is coming up really nice. But if this was aluminum, it'd be even brighter. Key thing is look after your anvils, keep them clean, keep them oiled, make sure that there's nothing on them, because otherwise your metalwork isn't going to come up that nice. So I've wheeled the panel for a little bit, the passenger side piece, and now I'm going to open it back up, because these panels, as you wheel them, have a tendency to close up. They kind of roll up. So open it up. Don't try and roll that twisted up panel in your wheel, because you're not going to have a nice clean finish in the end. It's going to be frustrating to wheel. So just flatten it out. If anything, throw a rug on the floor and just bounce on the panel. I'll throw a card up above. You can see how I wheeled up the door for the 1940 Ford Coupe that we built. And what I mean about opening the panel, closing the panel when you're wheeling it. So just make sure it's nice and open. You see it's lost its rigidity. It's kind of a little more floppy, but that's okay. Get it back in the wheel. And again, we got to bring up the shoulder. I like the English wheel versus, say, a power hammer. It's a lot more relaxing. You just stand here and just wheel away. It's quiet, except for that squeak up there. I've fixed that a number of times, but it seems to always come back. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep those doggies rolling. If you're old enough, you'd know where that came from. Yeah, I'm really dating myself. So I'm focused just on the front section where that bulge comes up. Now, I'm not putting an absorbent amount of pressure into the wheel, just a matter of passing it back and forth until it grows to where you want it to be. You want to control the growth. You see, as I'm wheeling it, the panel is closing. It's rolling up. If I took and tried to jam the panel in from just horizontally, I'd never get it in. But by going on a bit of a diagonal, on a kitty corner, you can get the panel slid in between the anvils with this pressure on it. Again, I'm wheeling medium, kind of medium-high pressure, just to accelerate the growth. That way you guys can see the panel kind of coming up faster than if I was going with lighter pressure. At the end of the day, you achieve the same result. It just takes more time. Okay, I think we're getting close. I'm going to give this one more pass out, and we can take a breather. I've been asked how long it takes me to wheel up a panel. Well, it depends on my mood, depends on the day, depends who's bothering me. It takes as long as it needs to. Don't rush it. And hear the panel starting to sing. Let's see if I can get, hear that wong, wong. That's a nice sound. Now, I haven't put this panel in the kick shrinker yet either, so that top edge has to be shrunk. Right now I'm just blending the two areas that I wheeled. My throat in this wheel isn't deep enough to accommodate the whole panel, so you have to kind of work with your wheel. You have to know your wheel. And we are there. Wow. Okay, so unfortunately we can't mount this to the buck because there is no buck. It's not even a wheel well. We haven't gotten that far yet in terms of all the fabrication. What I wanted to do was get some shape into this. Now, it isn't looking like the one on the car. That one has a lot more shape. We spent a lot more time working that one. So what I'm going to do at this point is shrink that, put this aside, finalize that one, and then make up some profiles every, say, 6 inches or so we can copy this shape onto this one and work this panel to those profiles. So we have a duplicate, a mirror duplicate of that panel. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. Until next time, guys, take care.